See, when you get to chasing behind somebody, normally that person who you're chasing behind doesn't really want to have anything to do with you. They may kind of like string you on a little bit because you've told them that they're the best looking or they got the best whatever, because you've told them that. And they know that they got the number one fan over here, you, because you've already told them the information that's basically digging that sinkhole for you. Now, once they see that they got you, they'll do anything to you. They'll disrespect you in front of your friends. They'll make you seem like a buffoon, even in front of your family. And then when your family tries to stand up for you, you'll wind up fighting against your family and standing up for the person who you chasing behind. Good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Mindset Master Podcast. I'm your host, Tony Reed, and I'm also the proprietor of the podcast. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about stop chasing behind other people. When I'm talking about chasing behind other people, I'm not just talking about chasing behind like your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your spouse, significant other, stuff like that. That's not what I'm necessarily implying. I'm talking about the whole perspective of people, and it could be chasing behind somebody who works at the pizza parlor who doesn't even know you exist. Or it can be like chasing behind somebody at the club who doesn't even know you exist. See, anytime that you go chasing behind somebody, you make yourself appear to be desperate. You make yourself appear to be very, very easy to get to. And you also appear very vulnerable, because typically whenever somebody allows somebody to walk all over them, they basically are in a very vulnerable state in their life. And whenever you're in a very vulnerable state in life, you can sometimes do things that you normally wouldn't do because your brain is thinking a certain way that your brain does not normally think. If you want to learn more about how to stop chasing behind other people, stay tuned to the end of this episode. So let's go ahead and get the episode kicked off into high gear here and discuss the number one reason why you should never chase behind anyone. And that reason is going to be because it gives that other person, that other individual, complete control, like a puppet, over you and your life. And it does. I hate to say that, but like I said, we're going to kick this off in the high gear here. And the reason why it gives the other person control over your life is because the other person would have known that they would have been the best whatever it is in your life. For example, when you meet somebody and you show them, or either you tell them how beautiful they are, and you tell them, oh man, I've never had a person who looks like you. I've never had a person who've had this particular body part like you. I've never had this person who've had like this like you. See, when you get to telling the person who you're with stuff like that, now nothing wrong with that if they can handle it. But see, the typical person can handle getting compliments like that, because what the typical person would do, they would take that compliment instead of embracing it, instead of, being like, oh my gosh, thank you. I really appreciate your kind words. Instead of doing that, the typical average person takes that compliment and they run with it in a negative way. A few months later, they're out at the club doing whatever they want to do, and then they're getting home at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. You walking in and looking like, where have you been? And they say, oh, nowhere. Why you need to know where I've been at? Now, the reason why that particular person got that response, and again, that was a terrible response that they gotten, but the reason why they got that response is because that individual has told that particular person who was out at the club 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, didn't call in, didn't check in and let you know that, I'm all right. None of that type of stuff like that. Typically, that person would have heard a good compliment from you, and they would have took that compliment and ran with it. And then what they're doing, they're using that against you. So whatever it is that you told them that they're the best at, they doing a good job like this, I ain't never had this particular way or whatnot. Anything you say like that is going to be used against you if the person who you're with does not really want to be with you. And I hate to say that. See, when you get to chasing behind somebody, normally that person who you're chasing behind doesn't really want to have anything to do with you. They may kind of like string you on a little bit because you've told them that they're the best looking or they got the best whatever, because you've told them that, and they know that they got the number one fan over here, you, because you've already told them the information that's basically digging that sinkhole for you. Now, once they see that they got you, they'll do anything to you. They'll disrespect you in front of your friends. They'll make you seem like a buffoon, even in front of your family. And then when your family tries to stand up for you, you'll wind up fighting against your family and standing up for the person who you chasing behind because they got something that you ain't never had before. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I said we're going to get this episode here today started off in high gear, because I want to help you achieve the best life possible. I want to help you achieve all the things in life that you're deserving of achieving. And see, in life, you're deserving of achieving amazing things in life. See, never let anybody tell you that you deserve to be meek, that you deserve to be a certain way. You don't deserve to be any way except for happy, healthy, and fulfilled. That's what you are deserved to have. Now, it's up to you to execute to make sure that you get that. Because even though you're deserving to have it, you have to do certain things to make sure that it keeps rolling in. And that's kind of like stop chasing behind other people. If you are chasing behind somebody, you're actually slowing yourself down in life. How can you do what you need to do in life, but then you're out chasing behind this person over here who's out chasing behind that person over there? See, it's too much chasing going on right here, and it ain't enough catching. It's like them old cartoons from back in like the 40s and 50s where Trapper tried to always catch the bunny and stuff, and the bunny would always get away like that wascally rabbit. It's a lot of attempting to catch, but it's not a lot of catching, trapping going on. It's not. And the reason it is because if you're chasing behind somebody, as with those old cartoons, chasing behind the bunny, you can never catch whatever it is that you're chasing behind, because whatever it is that you're chasing behind always can outmaneuver you. Just like a rhinoceros only can run straight until it slows down, then it can pivot. The particular individual who you're chasing, they're like a person. They can run and they can maneuver. You're like a rhinoceros. You only can go straight. You can't swiftly turn at the drop of a dime. You can't, because your body's not made to do like that. And see, that's what goes on inside your brain when you get to chasing behind somebody, because your brain isn't going to be built to move swiftly. Your brain is going to be like a rhinoceros. It's going to be real stiff, real sluggish, real reserved to really want to make a change against this person who is outmaneuvering you, all because they got something you ain't never had before. But see, like my granddaddy always have told me my whole life, and he still tells me that same thing to today. The same thing that makes you happy is the same thing that'll make you cry. Whatever you're chasing behind this particular individual about, whatever it is, I guarantee you, if you're not happy with that individual, you can find another individual out there. It's billions of people out there. This one particular person doesn't just have something or whatnot that nobody else in this whole universe, this whole world has. It's impossible. They're not the only one with whatever it is that they got going on that you just chasing behind them, that you just letting them run all over you like a welcome mat coming into your house. You should never let anybody march and stomp all over you, because when you do that, you look like a buffoon, you look like a clown, you look so silly, and then people, they want to kind of help you get out of the situation, but then typically when somebody's trying to help you, hey Tony man, look, we was at the restaurant the other day, and I saw that lady who you was dating, man. I saw her disrespect you. I saw her talk to another person on the phone in front of you. Man, why would you take that mess right there, Tony? Man, stay up out of my business, man. You were supposed to be my friend. You ain't supposed to say nothing to me. You ain't my friend. You against me. You don't want me to be happy. Nobody want me and this person to be together. That's what happens when you get to chasing behind somebody. See, you'll always get to try to put spackle on whatever it is that they are doing wrong. You will always find a scapegoat for that particular person. If they doing something real good that makes you feel real good, and then somebody in your family sees something in them that's not quite right for you, I guarantee you, it can be your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your granddaddy, whoever. you are going to fight against your family for that person. We've all been there. We've all done that, you know. Now, if you haven't been there, if you haven't done that, either that means that you're fibbing, or either you haven't really had a whole lot of experience with certain things in life. And that's a real good thing. And I hope you never have that experience. But for those of us who have had that experience in life like that, see, chasing behind somebody, it makes you look like a clown. It makes you look like a buffoon. And you never want to look like a clown or a buffoon. You always want to look like an up to beat kind of individual. You never want to look like that individual who's desperate, who's always chasing behind somebody. Because anytime you get to always chasing behind somebody or something, you never will catch it. It's like, I know a lot of my buddies, they go chasing behind money. They can never catch money. They always run right past it because they always trying to chase money. Just like in a relationship, you should never ever chase behind anybody in a relationship. If your spouse is doing you wrong, you need to sit down with them and talk to them and not let them just get away with the things that they're doing wrong. Now, you shouldn't, but some of us, you know, some people may let them get away, and that's okay. And that's, you know, that's your decision. But in this show here, the Mindset Master Podcast, I'm here to help you live the best life possible. And you don't deserve to be taken through the ringer. You don't. Nobody on this earth deserves to be taken through the ringer. You can control the things that happen to you 99% of the time because of how you apply yourself. The things that you do, the preparations that you make is going to set you up for success. See, if you don't do certain preparational things for success, you're never going to have success. And then you will always be out here blaming other people, pointing the finger at other people, when you should realistically turn that finger around and point that finger to the person who's behind that mirror. Never try to blame anybody for your downfall, because most of the time you are going to be your own worst enemy. A lot of times more people do harm to themselves from the actions that they do, that they are supposed to do, or either the excessive amount of actions that they wasn't supposed to do, that they do, more so than a firing squad of 10 people can ever do to them. You should never ever chase behind nobody. And again, when you get to chasing behind people, you give them the joystick to your life. And then you can't be mad at anybody but yourself when they march all over you like a floor mat. You cannot get mad at anybody in life but yourself. Because see, you are the one who gave them that control over your life. You are the one who told them how good they look. You are the one who told them how good they was in between the sheets. You're the one who told them how rich they are. You're the one who told them that. And see, they just didn't have the proper mentality of using that in a good economical way. See, they're using it against you to make you feel a certain kind of way, to make you feel like, hey, I'm the best that you can ever have because you told me I'm the best that you've ever had. See, when you get to doing stuff like that, you know, the person, again, if they do not have good intentions with you or for you, they will take that information and they will run all the way to the bank with that information. And then you'll always wonder why you can't never catch a break. You'll always wonder why you're not happy in life. You'll always wonder why can't I never keep a person who likes me for me? Why do I always get people who want to use me? Why do I always get people who want to this, that, and the other? Why do I always get these kind of people? Why do I attract these kind of people into my life? Well, the reason why you attract these kind of people in your life is a quite simple answer. Because you go chasing behind other people. You go chasing behind looking for love. Again, like I had mentioned earlier with that old school cartoon analogy, the trapper is out trying to catch the rascally rabbit, but he can never catch the rascally rabbit because the rabbit can always outmaneuver him. That's why I always said, stop chasing behind other people, because you get to chasing behind them, you can never catch them. If you like this episode today thus far, please press that like and subscribe button for me. I'm going to end the show on this note right here. I want you to really think deep about this. The last time that you chased behind somebody, are you with that person right now? If you are with that person right now, that's phenomenal. That's really good for you. But 99.99% of the time, that person who you chase behind, they're over here living la vida loca with another person. You're over here doing your thing now. Now again, if they are the person who you chase, is the person who you're with, like you're married to, y'all got a happy, successful, loving, caring family, all the more love and respect to you. But most of the time, it never works out like that. The person who you go chasing behind, you never ever really catch them, because how can you catch them when you go and chasing behind them heavy like a rhinoceros. And that about wraps it up for today's episode. Until next time, I'll catch you later.